What happens when two of television's most loved personalities collide in a way no one could have predicted? The Kelly Clarkson show was supposed to be just another easy promotional stop for Trevor Noah. But what took place that afternoon left the audience shaken and the entertainment world buzzing with disbelief. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts, because this story will make you rethink everything you believed about live television. The studio lights glared brightly as Kelly Clarkson sank into her signature chair, her familiar wide smile spreading across the set. Trevor Noah sat across from her, cool and collected in his sharp suit, expecting the usual friendly exchange that had made both of their shows so popular. The crowd was ready for laughter, having no idea they were about to witness a moment that would go down in TV history. "So, Trevor," Kelly began, her tone carrying the warmth her fans loved, "I have to ask about your recent comments on comedy and cancel culture. Some people are saying you've gone soft since leaving The Daily Show." Trevor's brows lifted just a bit, surprise flickering across his face. This was not the light opening he had pictured. "Soft," Trevor repeated, tilting his head. "That's an interesting word, Kelly. I'd say I've grown. There's a big difference between being soft and being mindful of how your words land. But isn't comedy supposed to push boundaries?" Kelly pressed, leaning in closer. "If you're worried about every person's feelings, doesn't that kill the art? Even I've been criticized for my show being too safe, too vanilla." The audience shifted, unsettled. This wasn't the cheerful Kelly they were used to, the one who focused on uplifting stories and light-hearted celebrity talk. Trevor kept his calm, but his jaw tightened ever so slightly. "With respect, Kelly," he said, "you're mixing up being considerate with being silenced. When I hosted The Daily Show, I spoke to millions. That came with responsibility. I could joke about apartheid because I lived it, but mocking someone else's trauma just to get a laugh, that's not edgy. That's simply lacking decency." Kelly's smile wavered, but quickly returned, sharper this time. "But don't you think that's a little condescending? Assuming people can't laugh about their own struggles? I've been through divorce, weight issues, family drama, and I can laugh at all of it. Maybe the real issue is people getting way too sensitive." The room went still. Only the low hum of the cameras filling the silence. Trevor's fingers tapped against his knee once, a small sign of frustration creeping through. "Too sensitive," he echoed slowly. "Kelly, when you were going through your divorce, did you want strangers cracking jokes about it on national television while you were still hurting? Or did you want the time to heal and decide for yourself when to laugh about it?" "That's different," Kelly shot back, her voice rising. "I'm in the public eye. We sign up for this. And honestly, some of the greatest comedy has come from pain. Look at Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Dave Chappelle. They never held back." "And look at Dave," Trevor cut in, his South African accent becoming stronger as his emotions surfaced. "He walked away from $50 million because he realized his jokes were being consumed in ways he never meant. People weren't laughing with him. They were laughing at the groups he was trying to defend. That's the line between punching up and punching down." In the corner of Trevor's eye, he noticed Kelly's producer making discreet hand signals, trying to steer the conversation back to lighter ground. But Kelly seemed fueled by the tension, her polished TV training colliding with her real opinions. "Okay, but Trevor, where does this stop? Do we cut out any joke that could hurt feelings? Do we turn stand-up into therapy? Because let me tell you, my viewers aren't here for a lecture. They want to laugh, to relax, to feel good for an hour. And that's fine," Trevor replied evenly. "But feeling good shouldn't depend on tearing someone else down. You can be hilarious without being cruel. You can challenge ideas without insulting people's humanity. I've done that for years." "Have you, though?" Kelly asked pointedly, her voice like a dare. "From where I sit, it looks like you traded your sharpness for claps from people who were never your real audience. What happened to the Trevor Noah who roasted politicians and celebrities without hesitation? Where did he go?" The audience was now completely still, aware they were witnessing something extraordinary. Trevor gave a short, humorless laugh. "He grew up, Kelly. He realized that chasing laughs at someone else's expense isn't comedy. It's bullying with good timing. But maybe that's hard to understand for someone who built her career as America's sweetheart, never really needing to challenge anyone or anything." Kelly's eyes flashed, her polite facade slipping away. "Excuse me?" Are you honestly going to sit on my show and question my authenticity? I've worked since I was 16. I've earned every bit of success I have. And I didn't do it by playing safe. I did it by being real with people. Real? Trevor asked, disbelief in his voice. Kelly, your empire is built on never making anyone uncomfortable. Your show is like elevator music. Pleasant, unthreatening, and completely forgettable. So forgive me if I don't take advice from someone who's made millions by never taking a real risk. The words landed like a blow. Kelly's face flushed crimson, her lips tightening as the audience gasped. For a moment, she looked genuinely shaken. Then her recovery came fast, though her voice carried venom no one had ever heard from her before. Forgettable? She said with a bitter laugh. Trevor, my show has been renewed multiple seasons. You walked away from The Daily Show because you couldn't handle it anymore. I've sold more than 25 million albums, won Grammys, and built an empire. What exactly have you done besides making people feel guilty for laughing? Trevor leaned back, a dangerous smile curving his lips. Kelly, true success isn't about how many records you sell or how many viewers you pull. It's about whether you use your platform to better the world, or just to pad your own pockets. And looking at your resume, we both know which side you fall on. Are you kidding me right now? Kelly's voice cracked as her composure slipped. I've donated millions to charities. I've featured countless small businesses on this show. I've given platforms to people who'd never have one otherwise. What have you done besides sit at a desk and crack jokes about problems you don't solve? I've used comedy to expose injustice. Trevor fired back, his frustration now visible. I've made people think about apartheid, immigration, inequality. I turned humor into a weapon for awareness. You turned it into background noise for housewives who'd rather not face the world's problems. The insult stung. Kelly's eyes narrowed, her tone like ice. Don't you dare belittle my audience. Those housewives you mock are working jobs, raising kids, struggling with realities you couldn't begin to imagine. They don't need some smug comedian judging them for wanting a break. Smug? Trevor's laugh rang with disbelief. Kelly, I grew up in apartheid South Africa. My mother was shot. I faced poverty and violence every day. Don't lecture me about struggles when you grew up in Texas with a record deal at 16. And there it is, Kelly snapped, her voice sharp. The Trevor Noah playbook. Pull out the oppression card whenever challenged. Yes, you had a rough childhood, and I'm sorry. But that doesn't give you the right to dismiss everyone else's hardships or pretend you're the only one who's ever suffered. The air in the studio was electric. Cameras rolling as the audience sat frozen, witnessing a brutal clash unraveling in real time. I'm not playing any card, Trevor said quietly, his voice low and dangerous. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of someone lecturing me about taking comedy seriously when she's lived in comfort her whole life. And from there, the argument spiraled. Words cutting deeper, voices rising sharper, and the gap between two television giants widening beyond repair. The audience knew they weren't just watching an interview gone wrong. They were witnessing a cultural earthquake, a raw reminder of how fragile civility can be when ego, pain, and pride collide on live television.